Hello, this is Sonia from The Pretty Stitch. Welcome to my channel. If this is your first time here, thank you so much for joining me. I really appreciate it. Today is another update video. Since the beginning of 2020, I have been trying to challenge myself with busting through my huge yarn stash that I have. I have so much yarn and I'm trying to, get through it. So each month I show a bin of yarn and I try to challenge myself and see what I can make out of it. So far I feel like I haven't, I say this every time if you've been following me on this journey, that I haven't gotten much done. But, Rome wasn't built in a day. It took me a very long time to accumulate this huge amounts of yarn, and I know it's going to take me a long time to use it up. If I ever will. Hopefully I will. Let's be positive. And each month I like to challenge myself by having a bin of yarn and to see what I can make out of it. And then of course I never use up the bin. It just doesn't happen. There's so much. Then I try to, take from other bins and then, combine them and see what I can make out of it. So I do mostly crocheting, but occasionally I do knit. I'm definitely a much more skilled crocheter than a knitter, but I do like knitting as well. And I'm also going to be updating you on some projects that I've made. So I will do projects first. I haven't made a whole lot or completed a whole lot. I do have some things in the works, and I do have some videos in the works that are just taking a little bit of time. School started again, and it's a weird year, so sometimes we're home, sometimes we're in school. I'm sure a lot of you are in the same situation. You don't know where you're coming or going, and virtual learning is great for some kids and not so great for others, so that's where we're at right now. But we're getting through it, and I'll show you some projects, and then I will show you the August bin, and again, not much has changed with that, and I will introduce you to the September bin. So let's get started on some projects. So my first project that I have is actually a knitting project. It's one of those ear warmers. I mean, winter's coming. Right now we have 90-degree days, but where I live, 3 months from now, we could be freezing below zero. So, it's good to get ready for that. And my one daughter really likes to wear ear warmers. So I decided to knit one. I had this chunky yarn or bulky yarn, and there wasn't much in it. And knitting does use up a little less than crochet. And I knew I wouldn't have enough to crochet an ear warmer for her. So I decided I'll knit one. And so here we go. Here it is. So it's cables on the end here. Oops, something on there. Yuck. So cables on the ends, just a braided cable. And I actually am making a pattern for this, my very, very first knitting pattern that I'm going to do. So if any of you are experienced knitters, please be kind. Maybe they're not quite the correct way, but we get it done. And yeah, so we have cables on the ends here, and usually with cabling, you mix your cables in with purl stitches, but I decided I just wanted it to be a little bit more seamless, so I didn't do the purl stitches next to the cable. I just decided to keep it all a knit stitch. So if you're crocheters and you don't know anything about knitting, then this won't make sense to you. But if you're a knitter, then you'll understand. Usually you cable and then you have a purl stitch next to the cable, but I wanted to just make it a little bit more seamless. So yeah, here's the ear warmer, and the nice thing about this pattern, when it comes out, you'll be able to make this to fit any head size. So, from a small child to, a larger adult. This will fit a variety of head sizes. You can make it to custom, fit you or whoever you would want to make it for. I don't have a name for it yet. I'm not sure what I'll name it. I'm not really good with pattern names. Sometimes I can come up with a real catchy, fun name, and then other times I'm just like, we got some braids here on the ends, so braid ends, that's terrible, isn't it? So maybe that'll be its name. I don't know. All right, so I have another project that I finished. I think I only have 2 projects that are actually finished, and then I have 2 that are unfinished, or 1 to soon be finished, hopefully. I will show you the other finished one. Okay, so my next project that I did finish and is going to be a pattern very soon is a washcloth or a dishcloth, and I really love using homemade washcloths or dishcloths. I especially love using them out of, or making them out of Tunisian crochet. I find that the Tunisian stitch really is a tighter, it can be a tighter stitch, and they're really great for washcloths. But this one is not made out of Tunisian, but it is made of a more of a compact stitch. So I think, you know, with washcloths, you wash them a lot, they get a lot of wear and tear. So sometimes like a lacier stitch, this is just my personal opinion or my experience with different, you know, handmade washcloths or dishcloths. They just don't hold up as well wash after wash. So I, you know, prefer a tighter stitch when I am using a handmade dishcloth. So this one is made out of the Stitch of the Week. Every Wednesday, I think this week, because this video should go up before the Stitch of the Week, will be 6 weeks of Stitch of the Week. So every Wednesday I started a new thing on my channel where I feature a stitch or a stitch pattern. So some of them, I know one of them is just the classic triple crochet. I featured that stitch. And then I have some stitches that incorporate triple crochet. I also did one on the slip stitch, and I have a whole bunch of other stitch patterns for Stitch of the Week. So this dishcloth uses the Stitch of the Week. So here we go. Hopefully it shows up because my wall is yellow and this is yellow too. But this is the dishcloth. Hopefully you can tell, it's a heart, and then this Stitch of the Week is a little puff stitch, and it's a really, really easy one. I'll have it linked below. Some puff stitches I find they're not necessarily hard, but they're a little bit more time consuming. Like there's lots of yarn overs and pulling up loops and all that. And this one is pretty simple. It utilizes a triple crochet. I think it cuts out a lot of steps. Now, mind you, this puff is a little bit smaller than some other puffs. It creates a nice little, cute little puff, and it's just a little alternative to some other puff stitches. I mean, there's so many different ones, and the other ones they're not wrong. This one's not wrong. It's just, you know, a different way. So yeah, this was a Stitch of the Week, and so yeah, I decided to make a little heart dishcloth. I did have some, I think this was in the August bin, had some cotton yarn, and I thought, you know what, let's make a dishcloth. And I used one skein of, I think it was Peaches and Cream cotton yarn, and it pretty much uses just about one skein. There was a couple yards left, but not too many. So if you want to make this, you know, and you just have one skein of Peaches and Cream, that should be plenty to make your little dishcloth. I actually think this will be a really nice face cloth because of all the little bumps on there, you know, like exfoliating and stuff. And my daughter claimed this, she wanted it, and so I told her, let me use it for the video and then you can have it. So, and yeah, and with this, it's the pattern that I will be having up soon. This is a heart, and I'm going to show you how to read a chart with crochet. It's a very basic chart. I know some people get a little intimidated by crochet charts, or, you know, just reading charts in general. So I kind of want to take the mystery out of it and just introduce you to a really, you know, I would consider this an easy pattern, especially for an experienced crocheter. If you've crocheted a very long time, you know, you should be able to whip this out, no problem. But if you're a newer crocheter, you know, this is basically using basic stitches, what I consider basic stitches, like your single crochet, slip stitch, triple crochet, you know, double crochet. Those are all basic stitches. So this pattern utilizes basic stitches. And I just go through step by step with the pattern, how to read the pattern, you know, what you need to do, how to read the chart. So yeah, this is, I think I'm calling it Have a Heart Dishcloth. Again, you know, really exciting name. It's not my gift coming up with names. This pattern should be up soon. I just need to edit the video and get it, you know, find the time to get it out there. So my next project, I just started this. It is a knitting, it's another knitted braided cable ear warmer. So you can tell it's, you know, barely out of the gate here. I just started. I'm using this weird springy yarn. And fun fact, actually, let me see. I think I have the label, and it's really funny. So let me see if I can find it, and I will read it to you. And maybe you won't think it's funny, but I think it's kind of funny. Okay, so why I think this is funny with this yarn. So here's the label right here. I don't know you can see, it says Patons Jenny cotton style on there. Then you read on the back what it's actually made out of. 97% acrylic, 3% nylon. No cotton in here. So I just thought that was mildly amusing and would share it with you. And yeah, the yarn actually has a very nice feel to it. I don't know if it's going to be the best to show off cables. I always suggest, even with crocheting, if you're making cables, to not have a really busy yarn. And this yarn does have like that nylon thread through it. So hopefully it will show up okay. The pattern does call for a thicker yarn, like a bulky type yarn, so I'm doubling this, so that's why I have the two skeins here. So yeah, this pattern should be out soon. It works up pretty quickly, and if you are an experienced knitter, I mean, you will have no problem with this pattern. If I can make it, an experienced knitter will have no problem with it. So yeah, this will be coming out soon. And another pattern that I've been working on, and I think I did show it a little while ago, and it's coming along. It's another knitted project here. It's going to be a scarf. I had made, I think I called it the pizza slice scarf a while ago, using this multicolored ice yarn. And I wanted to try a knitted version of some different multicolored ice yarn. So here we go. I knit a lot slower than I crochet, so it's just taking me a while to get this one, but it's getting close. And then I get to figure out, because I need to make like a buttonhole, so I need to figure that out, which should be really interesting because I have never done that before with knitting. And I looked at some YouTube videos, and it looks hard. So we'll see if we can figure it out. I hope so, because that's a key part of how to wear this type of scarf. I will wrap it around, and then you thread the skinny end through, you know, like you weave it in and out like an accordion type thing on the holes on this, the buttonholes. So there is actually no buttons involved in this. So yeah, hopefully I can figure that out. I am getting close. I think maybe I have maybe about 4 more inches or so to go, and then I get to attempt buttonholes. So yeah, hopefully next video when I show another update, I will have figured it out. So we shall see. And my last project that I'm going to be showing you is almost completed. And again, I have a video of this one that I'm working on, and you've seen it a few times. It's a shawl, or it's actually not a shawl, it's a wrap that I've been working on. So here she is. And as I said before, this was a pattern that I had made for a publication, I'm trying to think, maybe 3 years ago, 3-4 years ago. And I decided to revise it a little bit. I mean, I loved what I did for the publication, but I just felt like I wanted to tweak it a little bit more. So here it is. I forget what it was called in the publication. I believe it was Once Upon a Wrap, maybe? Once Upon a Stole, Once Upon a Wrap. It was a fairy tale theme is what they were going for. So I had named it something different, and they changed the name. So, but I decided I wanted to tweak it a little bit. I wanted to add some things. The original wrap was not as wide as this here. I wanted to make it wider, and the one edge was plain, and I wanted to add some something on the edge, because this part, I don't know if you can kind of see, this was more of a raw edge, and it was fine, but it kind of bothered me a little bit, but I didn't really know what to do. And then one day it came to me to add some fans on the end, and it took me a while to figure out the fans and how I wanted them to look, and you know, have to figure out the counting, and it's, you know, there's a lot of math involved and things like that. So finally came up with something. I hope it's pretty. I hope, you know, people like it. I mean, I think it's really pretty, and actually I love fans. When I was a little girl, I used to collect them, and I still see there's one back there, my panda fan, and I also love pandas. Pandas are my favorite animal, and I actually bought that fan when I think I was about 8 or 9 years old I think it came from a dollar store of all places, but I kept it all these years, and I love it because it has pandas. So if you're wondering why there's a fan there, it's just, I think they're pretty. I don't love them as much as, I'm not as crazy about them as when I was little, but I still think they're nice. And you know, there's one on the wall here too, nice little decorative things. So yeah, I just wanted to make this, I had seen a stitch, like a fan type stitch, and then I wanted to come up with my own. So that's kind of where this pattern came from. And yeah, so this side will have 2 fans. I started the second one, it's not quite done yet. And then the other edge is just a plain edge here. So I thought that would be kind of cute to have, you know, one edge with the fans and then the other. So yeah, it's going to be a wrap. Great. So this would be great for a wedding or proms. Hopefully proms will happen this year. So, you know, any type of more formal evening wear type thing, this would be good for. Or, you know, I actually would probably just wear it, you know, even with a cute sweater. I love scarves and things, so I wear them all the time. So yeah, so this is the final project for this month, and hopefully next month you will see this completely done and the pattern will be out and it will be great, I hope. So yeah, next I will show you the August bin, and I said before, not much progress. They'll probably think it looks the same, and then I will show you the September bin. So here we have the August bin, not much progress, and I was digging through it and I feel like it's just growing. I guess when the lid was on, everything's packed down, and then you open the lid and it's like whoop. But yeah, here we are, and I'm sorry for that background noise. It's still pretty warm where we live and our air conditioner gets quite a workout. I'm in my basement, so I'm really close to the air conditioner, and I'm really happy that we have it because it has been pretty hot. But yeah, so this is the August bin. You can see when I was digging through, I found this. And this was, I was making a slipper. And I think I realized I didn't have enough to make 2. So that's why we have the Lonely Slipper. And this yarn, I remember loving it in the skein. I thought it was so pretty. And when it works up, I'm just like, it's ugly. I feel like it is, but somebody else might love it. But I just feel like it's kind of like these pink blobs, and there's like purple, and I love all these colors and this blue, but it just doesn't work out real nice to me. But I'm sure that there is a great pattern for that yarn that would just look beautiful and fantastic. I just haven't found it yet, so I need to keep searching. So yeah, here we go with the August bin, and I will show you the September. Okay, so here we have the September bin. And this one is actually a little bit larger than some of my other ones. And there's quite a few swatches in here, like this, or sample. This was a sample pattern for a publication I had made. It looks weird, but it's actually a boot cuff. And I only had enough for one, and they didn't accept the pattern. And that's okay, because, you know, certain publications, doesn't necessarily mean that your pattern was bad. It just wasn't what they were looking for, and I think that was the case. At least I hope so. In this box we have, actually this is really some beautiful linen thread that I came from Lithuania. I ordered it, I believe, off of Etsy. Lovely, lovely seller. And if I can remember where, because I think I bought it like 2 years ago, I can link her shop below, because she was great. And I live in the United States, and this came from Lithuania, and I got it in less than 2 weeks. I was so impressed. But there's some really beautiful linen thread, and I actually think I want to make one of those, another wrap of the fan wrap that I showed previously, a project that I'm working on. I think it would really work up beautifully with this linen thread. Now this is quite fine. She has different, this is the finest that you can get. So if you don't like working with really, really thin thread, then this will drive you nuts. You can double it, but I'll probably work with just the one strand. I don't mind that. And it'll be like a really lacy open wrap. I think it'll be really pretty. We also have, oh, here we go. This was, I don't know what I was doing. I guess I was working on a swatch for a shawl or something, and thought making it out of, or maybe, I think I was working on a shawl, like a straight up shawl for me. Making it out of this heavy cotton yarn was a great idea. It wasn't. It was This yarn it's really nice, like for dishcloths, things like that, but it's quite heavy. So I just scrapped it and was like, we got to use it for something else. Oh, there's some more thread, some yellow. What else do we have? Oh, this is some sock yarn. I don't know if I'll have enough. I guess I don't know how to knit socks. I haven't learned that yet. And I don't think I would have enough to make 2 crocheted socks out of this, so I'll have to come up with something else. Oh, this was a knitted project that I had done. The yarn is really pretty, but really don't like this. I knitted a scarf, I guess, and I don't like it. It doesn't lay flat, it curls, which when I was knitting this, I didn't know much about like knitting stitches and how they work and how they lay, and so I think I started taking this apart and I want to use it for something else. Let's see. Oh, this yarn is really nice. I had bought this at the beach, I think in Virginia a couple years ago, and it's some really pretty soft cotton yarn. So we have that. Oh, found some beads. I think I wanted to make a beaded scarf and it just never happened. And here's some more thread that I used. I think this was from, I made a pattern for a publication and it turned out really cute. So I could link that below. It was some lacy fingerless mitts. So if you wanted to wear them for a wedding or, you know, some kind of more formal event, would be really nice. So yeah, this is the September bin. And I hope all of you are doing well, and I thank you so much for watching.
And today is